Hello everybody and welcome to Politics Tuesdays here on The Crunch. Today it's all about politics, about policies, about things that affect the citizens of our country, our continent and the world. Now we have two very interesting topics today. The first is a bill that is generating a lot of comment in the Nigerian space. The second is the story of a man who was arrested for the name of his dog. First of all, though, let's talk about this bill and why it's making so much fuss. With me in the studio today is finance expert Yinka Ogunnubi. Welcome to The Crunch.
Thanks for having me.
So a few days ago, Nigerians on social media woke up to the news that the economic team of the Vice President's office was planning to present a bill to the National Assembly that would give the president a lot of powers, but then it's an emergency economic stabilization bill. And all of a sudden there was talk about, oh my goodness, we're going back to 1984. Oh my goodness, we're heading towards a dictatorship. Can you break down this bill for us, first of all?
Well, we don't know if there's a bill.
Yes,
okay?
this is true because I know certain parties have also said that they are not aware of this bill.
We don't know if there's a bill, but it's apparent that there's something in the works. And it would look like an emergency economic stabilization bill. Now, from what we see in the media so far, it looks like a stimulus bill.
Yes.
I know the press is fixated over this emergency power thing, but from what we see so far, it looks like a simple stimulus bill, which there's really nothing so biggie about it.
Yes.
In the fact that if you look at economies the world over that have faced the kind of recession that we have faced,
they're usually emergency economic plan.
An emergency economic plan. I mean, the most recent one we can look at is the case of the U.S.
Yes.
When Barack Obama came in 2009, in January 2009, in February 2009, he presented a bill to the House, I mean to the Congress, called the American Restoration and Recovery Act 2009. And America did not come out of its recession until like 2 years later.
Exactly.
So the idea behind what we've seen so far is a process to fast track the release of money into the economy so that the economy can be stimulated.
Yes, those are some of the things that the bill, if it exists, will be seeking to do. Shorten contract awarding time, mobilize contractors with up to 50%, allow states to access their funds from the Basic Education Commission, and all of this not necessarily going through National Assembly deliberations, which would, in theory, make sure that more money was pumped into the economy faster. Why are people then so worried about it? Because it sounds good.
Well, I guess it's because, first, the press coined the word emergency power. There was nothing so far that we saw in that supposed bill that had anything like emergency power in it. And I think because of the president's antecedent, in his previous comment, people fear that, okay, if you give him discretionary powers to be able to decide what he wants to do, because there's part of that bill that talks about virement, which are basically transfers of budgeted allocations from one line to another without access to the National Assembly. So I guess those are concerns that people have, and they are valid concerns. I think where we have to make a distinction is that one, the bill so far clearly looks like something to fast track the process of getting money into the economy. And secondly, if we have concerns, we can ensure that within that law, there are checks and balances. For instance, tenure. I mean, that bill should not have...
It's not indefinite.
Indefinite. So it should have like a one-year tenure that can be renewed. The president should have maybe some kind of guidelines before he can... So all those things are things that can be easily addressed within the law itself. And the concerns of people, I think, have been over-exaggerated.
Now, you've mentioned now that it's not an indefinite bill. Like it's something that should last for a certain period of time. There have also been reports or some opinions that it should precede an economic recovery plan. How does that work?
Yeah, I mean, it's valid. It's a valid statement. The reality is that there's already an economic recovery plan.
Yes.
Most people, for reasons best known to them, are not, they're not aware of it, or they're not listening enough.
Picking part of the story.
What they want to see. I mean, in December 2015, the government released its medium-term economic framework, which was a 3-year plan, which basically outlined what they want to do in terms of diversifying the economy and every
so
other
on,
thing.
yes.
So in 2016, they released the budget, and then they came out with what we call the SIP, the Strategic Implementation Plan, which listed 6 thematic areas which the government wanted to focus on, with about 40 individual items of what they wanted to do.
Yes.
You know, with timelines of what they wanted to do it. So that is a roadmap, and that's an economic recovery roadmap.
Yes.
You know, so with this bill, basically what they're trying to say is, okay, that plan is in place, the roadmap is there, but we need to work faster. Right, because the economy needs stimulus. We can't wait to advertise a contract for 6 weeks before we get, you know, the money out. Even at that, we can only pay the contractor 15%. How about we pay them 50%? Get money into the economy and get, you know, the economy flowing. So I think it's something that Nigerians should support. If they have concerns, they should express those concerns within the law, and let's ensure that we get money rolling quickly, because this economy needs money.
I agree, it definitely does. Thank you so much for dousing a lot of the hysteria, you know, because I was reading the comments on social media, and very few people actually took the time to break down or to ask questions about what the proposed bill itself seeks to do. So for those of you who are not sure how to feel about this, I think that we've been able to make it very clear, break it down, and you can see that it's definitely something that first we should get behind, and second we should get familiar with. And like Mr. Yinka has said, if there are questions, raise them within the framework. Now is the time to ask these questions and to raise concerns, not after. Thank you so much for doing such a fantastic job. You know you're going to be coming regularly, Ba?
Anytime, just give me a call.
Thank you. We definitely will. Guys, we're going to take a really quick break now. We'll be right back.